Welcome back, everybody. In this channel, we're going to talk about everything crypto today. I hope you guys enjoyed that Corey Costa stream with BitBoy. That was huge for the ecosystem, but for the space in general. I love what they're talking about with the us versus them. It's not us versus other coins so much as it is us versus the Federal Reserve, right, guys? So what a great message that was. But yeah, stick around till the end of this video. Ask me any kind of questions you want, but we're going to be talking about, is the bottom of the bear market in? Short answer, I think probably not, but maybe for HEX in particular, but not necessarily the whole market. And we're going to be talking about the Fed. We're going to be talking about FUD in general, how to combat FUD and how to handle it. Social media, Twitter, and basically just the point that you really are what you focus on, right, guys? I mean, you get what you give. I mean, you literally become, if all you're focused on is FUD, you're going to be miserable. And so Twitter as a helpful resource versus Twitter as a detriment to mental health is a topic that's been on my mind. But hey, on the bright side, Elon Musk just bought it. So it's been a fun couple of days, even just seeing the fact checking going on and all the, all the soy boy liberals, no offense, I'm not getting political here, but everyone crying about, oh, Elon's going to ruin Twitter, when really I think he's going to make it a really open and honest space to finally have open discussion, because Twitter is like the hive mind of the internet. Everybody is like, Elon Musk said this, he tweeted about it. Everyone's like a neuron on Twitter. And because we have so many billions of bidirectional interactions per day, it's almost like a literal brain. It's almost like its own AI that involves all of us just fact checking each other, spitting out our opinions. And when we really do have free speech, the better speech rises to the top, because you can't argue with the truth, really. And I think the truth is going to shine through in one way or another. But how cool was that? Corey and BitBoy, of all people. Corey, a streamer just starting out, got the number one HEX, or the number one crypto YouTuber who's got 1 million subscribers or more, to come onto his channel and talk about all things tribalism, crypto, us versus ourselves, or is it us versus the Fed? And really, at the end of the day, crypto is a quiet revolution. And the old Gandhi phrase, right? It's first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. Well, guess what, guys? We're kind of we're past the ignoring place, right? We're kind of at the then they laugh at you part, but we're coming up on the then they fight you part, okay? And it's already been happening with Sam Bankman-Fried buying up every company under the sun. And get ready for the fight, guys, because it's not going to be comfortable to hold strong in your convictions, whatever cryptocurrency you're holding. It's not going to be comfortable in the next couple of months here. What's going on? What's going on to the chat? Let's say hi to everybody. We've got Gopa says, good morning. What's up, Monica? What's up, Red Squirrel? What's up, Hex Monkey? What's up, Jason Rice? What's up, Crypto Bigfoot? Crypto Gains Club, always in the chat. Paul Sachs, Sandy B. DJ Pollywood, great grocery video. Thank you for doing that. Oh, that was a lot of fun to do. If you guys haven't checked out my previous video, I bought people's groceries using HEX. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I'm glad a lot of people liked it. So I'm open to new ideas just like that, right? Always open to new ideas that I can do in the real world to actually try to make an impact rather than just flapping my lips on the internet all day. But I like doing that part too. So yeah, guys, I mean, it's going to be great. I think the future, it's not going to be just sunshine and rainbows. It's going to be a fight. But I think in the end, I think crypto will prevail, and I think the truth will prevail. So you can almost think about it like the NFL, right? I mean, all these different coins, we're different teams in the NFL, but we're fighting for our rights. We're fighting for more salary for the NFL players. Now we're fighting for proper regulations and acceptable regulations where we can actually grow and thrive, and it won't hinder, the future of the country. So crypto is like the NFL. It's not us versus them. Although we do fight, it should be friendly. And HEX, we're like the Patriots. We always win every time. So, whatever analogy you want to make, I think, looking at crypto more like sports teams and winning sports teams is kind of a good metaphor to use. So yeah, guys, what are we going to talk about today? I've got nothing but time today. So, ask questions if you want to, but the title of the video is Has Crypto Topped? Has Crypto Bottomed? Has crypto bottomed? And the answer for HEX in particular is a strong maybe. Like, I'm leaning towards the possibility that HEX might have already bottomed. And My reason for saying that is when you look at the sideways action for an entire month in the 3 cents to 3.2 cent range, coins almost never stagger sideways that much for that long. And what does that tell you about the market participants in HEX right now, guys? It almost leads me to believe that all the people that wanted to sell have sold. And we've seen now hit this floor where it's just getting bought up by actual believers, and money is really changing hands. Sometimes it's from whales. Sometimes it's just from impatient people that might have bought the top, unfortunately, that don't want a dollar cost average. But wealth is being transferred from the impatient to the patient. And you can tell on the literal chart. You can pull up the chart and literally see people scooping up the dip to, I guess, what they believe is an acceptable 3 cent level. And I know now we're at 4 cents. We can definitely go back to 3 at the drop of a pin, the drop of a hat. Is that the saying? We can go back to 3 cents at any time, but do we go much lower? If you're waiting for 1 penny, I mean, think about in the long run when HEX is back to 50 cents again, are you going to really care if you bought at 3 cents or 1 penny? I think if it does ever hit that 1 penny mark, it's going to be a temporary wick because the amount of limit orders being set and just the amount of people that are itching to buy that 1 penny mark, if it does hit it, it's not going to stay there long, in my opinion. And HEX also topped before the rest of the crypto market. And guess what? Crypto topped before the stock market. So crypto acts like a leverage kind of instant reaction on whatever's going on because crypto moves fast, right? Crypto moves at the speed of light. Literally, it moves digitally. It trades 24/7. So think about it. Crypto as an asset class responds faster to news. It responds faster to speculation. And that's because 90% of all the crypto value is literally speculative value. Yes, there's utility in all these coins, but we're primarily betting on the narrative memes and the speculation of these things being worth more in the future. And so when times are tough and inflation is high and people aren't able to get as much bang for their buck, essentially, when the groceries are getting more expensive, gas at the pump is getting more expensive, it's what we call a risk-off environment. What does risk-off mean? It means people don't want to speculate in crazy new asset classes. And what's the first thing that they're going to sell? I mean, it almost seems obvious to say, but what's the first thing that people are going to sell when times are tough and you need money to put food on the table? Well, if you bought, more than you were willing to lose in crypto, the first thing you sell is probably going to be your cryptocurrency, right? Because you're like, well, I don't really need this anymore. So it's the first thing people dump. And because it's the first thing people dump, it's also probably the first thing to find a bottom. Now we need to worry about, stocks have gone pretty low. I think they have a bit lower to go, but real estate is kind of the third. And because real estate is such a big, heavy asset class, it's illiquid and hard to move. It takes a couple months to even sell your house. And there's all these middlemen, all these BS taxes and everything. We haven't really seen real estate prices crash, and the interest rates are going up right now, which means demand should be coming down because nobody wants to pay these 7% APYs when they got 3%, 2 years ago on their mortgage loans. So real estate might be the final nail in the coffin, so to speak. And I think we can go back up then. And it really all is also integrated with the federal funds rate. This is all tied in together. Federal funds rate. Let's talk about that. I think the federal funds rate, I almost got to say, Jerome Powell, I'm not going to say, obviously I think the Fed is evil and should be abolished. we should live in a world where everyone just trades freely with crypto, right? But it's not the current world we're living in. And Jerome Powell has said himself that one of his influences was Paul Volcker, who's notorious for raising interest rates past 10%. He rose the federal funds rate past 10% in the 1980s when inflation was going crazy back then. And so he's sticking to his guns. He's raising inflation, and what that showed me is that he didn't want to bow down to political pressure because I don't know if you guys know this, but the primary elections in the United States are on November 8th. That's 5 days from now. And there's usually a lot of cahoots with, the stock market and, big corporate interests and then politicians, whoever's in power at the time. But what this is showing me, what people were expecting is, because everyone's colluding together, the Jerome Powell is going to slow down on inflation a little bit because he's going to try to make the current party look good so that the current party has an excuse to say, oh, look at how great the economy is going under our regime. Vote for us again, because nobody likes to zoom out on a chart and see how far things have gone down. People have very, very short attention spans, guys, very short attention spans. And so the collective memory of the people is very short. So the prediction was, well, as long as people can see prices going up for maybe the last week, they'll think everything's fine and they'll say, thanks, Joe Biden. You know what I mean? And then they'll just associate those two with being synonymous, even though, you know, the president really doesn't have much to do with the economy. It's not as simple and black and white as a lot of people want it to be. But Jerome Powell says, I don't give a crap about all that stuff. We're going 75 basis points. Everybody was expecting 50. He pulled forward with 75. And it's a ballsy move, but he stuck to his guns. And to me, I'm saying, you know, maybe you can look at that as a bad thing because, yeah, it did tank the market a bit because the market did, you know, because the federal funds rate was the opposite of what everybody was expecting. But you could also say, good, let's hurry up. Let's hurry up and ratchet these rates all the way up as fast as we can, as high as we can, because then we can find a bottom faster. So it's almost just like, to use the analogy of ripping off the Band-Aid or, you know, letting all the blood run out of the system, you know, so that we can start to heal again, letting all the toxicity bleed out so that we can actually form some kind of healing. Let's see what's going on in the chat, guys. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Oops. Good afternoon, Koss. Good afternoon, Rune Dragon. Thoughts on Zen? I'll get to Zen in a minute, guys. I'll get to Zen. What do you recommend for someone new to HEX and crypto in general? Well, if you're brand new to HEX and crypto, I do have hexpassiveincome.com, link right above me here, or you can check out the description below for that link, guys. And if you are brand new to crypto, this course teaches you everything from zero to hero. It's very affordable, and a lot of people ask me for one-on-one consultations, but this is about the same price as a one-on-one hour with me would be, and it's way more value, and you can always go back and refer to it, and it's, you know, a 15-part video series with maybe 17 videos, maybe like 7 hours of content, 8 hours. And if you take this, and all the links are in one place, you can go back and reference it anytime. You don't need to call me on the phone. I think it's a lot of bang for your buck, and so it can also be used as an onboarding tool. If you want to get somebody into HEX and into crypto, there's an affiliate program for hexpassiveincome.com. You know, shameless self-promotion here because it's a win-win-win for all of us. It's a win for you. If you join the affiliate program, you can recommend this course to somebody else and get paid for doing so. So you're literally getting paid to onboard somebody by sharing your affiliate link with them. They purchase the course. Because they purchase the course, they're that much more likely to finish it because people don't value free information as much as they value information they paid for. So they're going to take the course seriously. They're going to onboard into HEX and the whole PulseChain universe eventually. You're going to get a kickback. I'm going to get a kickback, and we get a valuable new community member. So that's what I recommend for somebody new to HEX and crypto in general. It's a good place to start, right? You know, you can get mad at me for that all you want. I know anytime you try to sell anything in crypto, it seems that people are upset with you. But hey, guys, it's not illegal to make money, huh? And people really don't value things they get for free. Thoughts on Zen? I'll talk about Zen because I don't want people. This is probably the last thing I'll say on Zen. Okay, there's not much to talk about. It's very simple. The emission schedule decreases over time, so it becomes disinflationary over time. The time period in which it becomes disinflationary is like 8 years or something like that. It's a long time. And so right now, people are just printing tons of coins for free, and they're getting those coins, and bots and, you know, Indian click farms. Literally, it doesn't matter if it's a human or a bot, but everyone I know has more than one wallet. So you're going to see millions of wallets being created. These are actually in reality probably 1/100th to 1/1000th of real users, you know, so divide whatever metrics by, say, 1,000, because one guy can make 10,000 addresses, right? And claim. Long story short, the longer claim window you pick and the earlier you claim, the bigger your rank delta and the more coins you get. So again, if you delay gratification, you get more coins. So yeah, just if you want to pay a gas fee and claim, pick a long claim window, wait and see. By no means am I advocating buying the coin because look, with the coin you can infinitely print for free. That's like an inflation bug built into the code almost, right? Yes, I get that it's going to become disinflationary over time based on a logarithmic function, based on like the number of users and all that. And so cool, pick a long claim window, claim as many times as you're comfortable paying the gas fee for. And then just, I don't know, like there's not much more to say about it. Just claim and shut up and go away for a while, right? That's what I'm doing. I claimed a whole bunch of times and paid a bunch of Ethereum gas fees. I made my window like a year long for the claim window. And there's not much more to it. I expect the price to keep going down, right? I mean, yeah, there's some ZenFT thing. And, you know, when a coin's price is based off of the new thing that comes out, and it's based off of consistently making more news or more cool, you know, additions. Like, I'm not necessarily saying only Zen, right? But a lot of coins do this thing where they'll make the coin and then they'll make a new coin, or, you know, a new game to play. And it's just like a carrot on a stick that requires there to be a new coin to invest in. So like, oh, if you cash in your coin for this coin and you stake this coin, you can earn that coin. In the future, something about this coin, if you stake this coin, you can earn that coin. There's only so many times you can do that before people get coin fatigue, right? And coin fatigue is a real thing, and the interest eventually dies down. So, you know, if the narrative is strong enough, and if Jack Levin can carry Zen forward with just the narrative and this hyperinflationary environment where people are selling the price down, yeah, it's possible that, you know, it has value in a year. And if it has value in a year, great. I claimed it for pretty darn cheap. And so that's a lot of money that I would potentially be getting in a year. But I don't think it's going to be worth that much. And I think it's a pretty safe bet because, again, tragedy of the commons. You give people free stuff, they don't value it as much. I mean, think about it. The coin has basically a price ceiling in the code. So if the price of the coin theoretically goes above the gas price that it costs to mint it on a one-day claim, well, people are going to arbitrage that and dump it back down eternally. If they can make a profit, if it's profitable to free claim by paying the gas fee, and if the price of the coin ever goes higher than the gas fee that it costed to claim it, people are just going to dump that back down to the gas fee cost in perpetuity forever. Seems like a bad design to me. Now, if gas fees get cheaper in the future, which they're probably going to with sharding, what does that mean? More claiming, and the price ceiling that was set by the gas fee cost. Well, if gas fees get lower, the price ceiling goes lower. So I think the chart's going to look down and to the right for a while, and there's not much more to say about it. Look, I wish Jack the best. He's a good guy, nice guy, smart guy, but I don't like the dynamics of the coin, and so by no means am I ever going to tell anybody to go buy it, because why buy something that you can free claim forever and ever and ever, and that's based off, and that has a price ceiling baked in based off of the gas costs of whatever network you're using. The cheaper the gas costs, the more people are going to arbitrage the price down. And this is going to happen for years and years, unless by, you know, the marketing is incredible and the demand can really outpace all the bots and click farms just selling it down, arbitraging it down every time. But because the emission schedule lasts 8 years, it's not really that interesting to me until like those later years when it gets really, really hard to mint. So maybe I'll revisit Zen in 5 or 6 years. You know, I'm definitely going to claim after 1 year, but that's all I got to say about it for now, guys. It's not really that interesting to me. It is what it is. Timothy Harris says, the course is just amazing. Thank you for taking your time and answering the questions in the course as well. Thank you, sir. That's awesome to hear. Oh, Timothy Harris, I recognize your name. Yeah, you had some comments over there. I hope I was able to answer your questions, Timothy. If I was, that's great. But if not, just message me again. Sometimes the comments get lost or I might have overlooked one, but I'm glad you liked the course. Hello, Coffee and everyone. Great course, by the way. Thank you, Sandy Beach. What is your price prediction for HEX in 2 years? Well, price predictions are opinions, right? Opinions are like assholes and everybody's got one. I'm not going to pretend to have a crystal ball, right? But I think I've said this before. HEX did a 10,000x in the first bull market, okay? And if HEX does an order of magnitude lower, if HEX, you know, from bottom to top in the next cycle, because everything's cyclical, right? Crypto is very cyclical. It's had 4 cycles and it's never experienced a macro downturn, but it's likely to. It's likely to bounce back because even the macro, even though it has longer cycles, it still has cycles. So we happen to be in a cycle that overlaps with a macro bear market, which makes for a particularly rough bear market, right? Makes for a particularly rough bear market. Crypto's never existed in a macro recessionary environment. So because we're down so much right now, we're down 90% in HEX, US dollar value, you can probably assume that even if HEX has a lot more room to grow than I think a lot of people realize. Now, will it do another 10,000x in this cycle? Probably not, right? It's not impossible, but could it do 1,000x? I think that's very reasonable. Could it do 100x? Yeah, I think it's almost, I don't want to say anything is certain, but 100x is not that high. You know what I mean? 100x is just $3 X, right? So Hex might even hit 1,000x temporarily, right? Or maybe let's say a conservative number, 500x. What is that, $15? I know it sounds outrageous, but in bull markets, things always go way higher and way lower than you could ever predict. And I'm talking about the absolute bottom and the absolute top. And nobody ever buys the absolute bottom and sells the absolute top. So when we talk about these X's, maybe divide those in half to really try to portray the actual amount of multiples of ROI that you can realistically get, because you're not going to buy the bottom and you're not going to buy the top. Trust me. It's just, if you do, I would love to meet you. If you're a guy that bought the exact bottom and the exact top, I would love to have you on the channel to talk about your experience and how you did that. But, it probably would just be luck, right? So when we talk about the absolute minimum to maximum price range, I think it's important not to get it twisted that you're actually going to achieve all of those X's. Hex did a 10,000x, but most of the people I know that did really well in Hex, they're only up, 1,000 to 3,000x. Now I say only, right? Only 1,000x. That is goddamn life-changing money. Okay, and I don't care who you are. 1,000x is life-changing money. So let's say Hex does another 1,000x from bottom to top, but you only capture 1/10 of that. You only capture 100x of it. Well, I think that's pretty realistic. I think Hex could be easily $3 in the next bull market. It might even shoot up to, $10, $15 and then crash all the way back down to 3. So this is a long-winded answer to your price prediction. Hex in 2 years, I would love to see Hex back at all-time highs in 2 years. And in 3 to 4 years, it'll probably blast off beyond that. My price prediction in 2 years, let's call it 50 cents. Let's just say Hex is right back at all-time highs in 2 more years. But remember, guys, you don't make gains in crypto overnight. You need to wait multi-year time horizons, okay? Multiple years. I didn't make really life-changing money in Hex for 2.5 years, right? And before that, I was in crypto for 5 more years before that, losing money in all the different ways that I talk about, and I try to warn people about not to lose money on. Okay, so talking from experience here, 2 years is, it's actually not that long. I'm more bullish for Hex in the next probably 4 years. I think 2025, 2026 might be some of the most bullish times, but we need the bear market to end. And when the bear market ends, it doesn't just shoot straight up, right? So we could still go in this boring zone in between, 3 cents and 50 cents for a year, maybe more. So price prediction in 2 years, let's pull a number out of our ass and say 50 cents in 2 years. The grocery store giveaway was wonderful. I absolutely love seeing that. Good vibes, and I would love to see us all doing stuff like that. Yeah, guys, get out there. This could be a call to action for you guys, right? Like if that was inspirational to you, it's not that hard to go out and do it. If Hex changed your life, let's come up with some creative ways together to actually try to make an impact and try to change people's lives and show them what Hex is all about. Financial freedom doesn't have to mean Rolexes and Lambos, right? To be honest, I don't give a shit about Rolexes. I've never been a watch guy. It's a status symbol. Sure, I get it. But when you get rich, and if Rolex means a lot to you, I'm not going to say that you shouldn't buy one, right? If it means a lot to you as a status symbol, as a symbol of, look at how hard I worked, I finally deserve that watch, by all means, go buy the watch. But that's not necessarily me. Expensive car? Sure, I like cars. But, it's just personal taste, right? And so when we have all this newfound financial freedom, let's come up with different creative ways to give back and to not just brag and say, look at my Rolex, look at my Lambo, because that speaks to a certain segment of people, but it might speak more to, we have to consider all different people, right? So you can do the charity thing if you want to, you can do the balling thing if you want to, you can do what Richard does. They both work. They just attract different people, different minds. Let's see. If RH waits to launch at the bottom of a bear market, we have no other direction for Pulse to go but up. Good strategy, IMO. Yeah, that always seemed pretty simple to me, guys. Pretty simple. People say, oh, why would you want to launch at the bottom of a bear? This is the answer. This guy right here, guys. Sorry, what's your name? Rune Dragon. Rune Dragon is right. literally the only way to go is up. So, I mean, if we launch anytime in the next couple of months for PulseChain, that would be pretty bullish to me. Coffee, what's up, Mike? Hey, Mahmood, how are you? RH wallet, when is sacrifice phase going to be? That one will be a winner, no doubt. Yeah, I have no idea. Hey, Crypto Silas, how are you? What's going on? Good to see you in the chat. Plumber says, I'll bet it pumps to $1 on the next bull run. Dude, yeah, I think $1 is low. I mean, a $1 hex would only be a 2x from all-time highs. When Ethereum blasted past all-time highs, look at the charts, guys. I mean, these things don't just do a 2x. I mean, this is crypto, and we're talking about a crypto that's only 3 years old. Yeah, Bitcoin might only do like a 4 or 5x, but if Bitcoin does a 3 or 4 or 5x, imagine what a brand new, up and coming, lower liquidity, retail friendly cryptocurrency is going to do with product market fit, with no admin keys, with a huge community backing it. We're the only people still here left in crypto. I don't know. $1 seems a little low to me, but hey, $1 is still, I mean, 3 cents to $1 is life-changing money for some people right now. 500x is good. I'll be retired. Yeah, sure, man. Again, I'm just pulling numbers out of my butt here, so don't take any of this as gospel, right? Timothy Harris, I do not concern myself about the price at all. I now invest every dime that I was putting into my 401k into HEX. The difference is astoundingly better. I've heard of people doing that, and I can't say I disagree. You know what I mean? Traditional finance people, financial advisors or whatever, probably tell you that's a terrible idea, but I think quite differently. And I think a lot of people that win in crypto think kind of like you, Timothy Harris. All right. I hope the price stays like this for as long as possible so I can load my bags. Nice. Yeah, fingers crossed. Cheers from across the pond, Danny Aldwink. I bought the HEX bottom if it 29 cents was the bottom. LOL. Come talk to me. Yeah, nice, man. Hey, SJ. Great to see you in the chat. Always such practical advice. Thank you. Thank you very much. I will be building a staking ladder once I've built my bags within the next couple of weeks. That's a good point. The plumber says staking ladder is what he's going to build. For people that don't know, if you're new here, that's how people really win in crypto. So if you're going to make a staking ladder, my non-official, non-financial recommendation would be, again, if you decide, if it's your decision, if you want to buy HEX or not, it's up to you. I don't care if you do or don't. But if you want to, the right way to do it is a long-term staking ladder. Let's say you start out from 1 year from now to 7 years from now, and you just make bigger stakes. I mean, really, I try to recommend making stakes, if you can, as big as 1 T-share minimum. I mean, if you can, okay? Because really, imagine every HEX right now being $1. Just visualize HEX being $1. And so if and when HEX hits that price, you're going to have that many dollars worth. It kind of makes it easy to visualize in your head if you just say, okay, each of these HEX is $1. But so first and foremost, try not to go any lower than a T-share, or just visualize HEX being $1. And if you're okay with that dollar amount, use that as your staking amount. And then I would just make a consistently same size stakes every year from 1 year from now, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, maybe go up to 7 or whatever, and then start filling in biannually. I don't think it makes too much sense anymore to do these 15-year stakes or even these 10-year stakes, because you can just buy the Maximus perpetual contracts for those and save yourself a lot of gas fees. I know that might be controversial, but my minimum stake length would be longer than a year. Number one, because capital gains tax. Why would you want to pay short-term capital gains tax? Why wouldn't you just wait a year? Wait out the bear market. Bear market's probably not going to hit all-time highs for at least a year, right? So it costs you very little to just wait out for a year and get paid interest for doing so. You get paid yield when you stake. So long-term capital gains, wait out the bear market. Minimum stake length should be just a little more than a year, okay? And then I like yearly, and I really, really like biannually. And if you got enough money, you can even do quarterly. I think when you go anything shorter than quarterly stakes, that becomes kind of like a full-time job just to manage all your stakes and stuff. So the whole point of HEX was to set it and forget it and live your life and be happy when these stakes expire. Hopefully next time the bull market comes back. Always appreciate your solid approach. Hey, HexiCat, I was on this guy's channel the other day. Check out HexiCat's podcast, and I was on one of those podcasts. If you want to rewatch the replay, it was pre-recorded. So yeah. Let's see, guys. Love your stuff, Coffee. My guy, love the new content ideas, bringing awareness to the people and finding out just how new HEX is to people. Yeah. I think of my littles and their future. Yeah, if you got kids, this could be a great, just think about when your kids are 10 years from now, all grown up, you know what I mean? It could be a great college graduation gift if that's the timing works out. The cool thing is you can set these stakes to expire on Christmas, on your birthday, on your significant other's anniversary day, whatever it may be. FYI, okay, let's see. As an added bonus, generosity is really fun. It makes you happy. I couldn't agree more. Let's see, guys. What else do I want to talk about today? Okay, yeah, the Fed down. Let's get to the bottom faster. Be wary of coins that keep having to create, quote unquote, the next big thing. PulseChain shouldn't be looked at that way, by the way. So when I say beware of coins that have to keep making the next big thing, it's like if your coin relies solely on the carrot on the stick of, we're going to build this, and then you could, dump this coin for that coin and stake this coin and earn that coin. You can only do that so many times before people just get tired of it and they kind of see through the veil of illusion. So PulseChain, people are like, well, isn't PulseChain just a big thing to pump HEX? No, it's not. PulseChain was invented to save HEX from extremely high gas fees. HEX users were getting annihilated by ending their stakes, and it wasn't even profitable to end the stake because some of these gas fees costed more than the entire stake was worth. So PulseChain is an isolated ecosystem. It's separate from HEX. HEX lives on top of PulseChain. And PulseX is a completely separate app. All of these apps can live alone. They don't rely on each other. And if the Ethereum fees were still low, we wouldn't have even needed PulseChain because HEX lives on its own. Okay, it's a smart contract that has product market fit. It replaces a $7 trillion market, which is the CD market. And if it was accessible to everybody, if everybody could buy HEX and stake HEX and end stake HEX without paying an arm and a leg for gas fees, PulseChain wouldn't be necessary. And we would just be shilling HEX, and it would be great because a good product should be able to stand on its own as an idea and not require endless amounts of infinitely new ideas of, we've got this thing coming out in 6 months, make sure you load up and then sell this coin for that coin and this coin for that. Like it's an age-old kind of almost like a scam, it's almost just like, again, a carrot on a stick is the best analogy I got. But PulseX is entirely separate from HEX, which is entirely separate from PulseChain. Okay, PulseX is one app, HEX is a different app, and PulseChain is the network layer. So you've got the network layer, PulseChain, you've got the store of value app, which is HEX, and you've got the trading app, which is PulseX. Okay, all very different things. It's not like you have to buy one in order to get the other. I like all three. I sacrificed for both PulseChain and PulseX, and I have a lot of HEX. So I love all three, but what I'm saying is they're mutually exclusive. Like in order for the price to go up on all three of these coins, they're not dependent necessarily on each other. Now, we can talk about liquidity, and if liquidity is bonded, that makes them all pump together. Yes, I get that. But as an idea, as a concept, it's not like you have to buy one and stake one in order to earn the other. You know what I mean? So just be wary because I see a lot of new coins coming out that are just, it's called a reloading scam too. It's like people will just reload with the same set of users until that subset of users that falls for the next thing gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And then there's no more people to fall for the scam. So not naming any names, just be careful for that kind of dynamic out there. Okay. PulseX, yeah, it's a V2 fork. PulseChain is a walled garden where we can set the SLOD function, we can set the parameters, and HEX is a store of value with a lot of price potential. All right, HEX is the shining city, PulseChain is the road that leads to it, roads that bring commerce and tourists. Yeah, that's a good metaphor, right? PulseChain is like a road, HEX is like a car on that road, you know what I mean? These are apps that live on top of the road or the network, right? My favorite thing from your course is don't get distracted by shiny objects. That's right. So BitBoy was talking about diversification and how you should be diversified. I was just watching Corey Costa's stream about it. And I slightly disagree with him here because I don't want people to misconstrue what diversification means. Like, it's okay, in my opinion, to own maybe 5, maybe 10 coins, but you shouldn't just be shotgunning it and like spewing out all your money over 50 or 100 different coins. I mean, I feel overextended even being in like, I think I sacrificed for maybe 4 or 5 different projects. So right now I've got a basket of maybe 6 or 7 coins. I mean, in the future, because they don't exist yet, right? But that's as diversified as I'd like to be. And I think I'm even a little over diversified, right? Because it's better to just do your research and really have strong conviction that you picked the winners, the 2 or 3 or 4, maybe 5 winners, right? Wouldn't you rather pick 5 winners and allocate all your money equally amongst them than allocate all your money amongst 50 things, but then only 3 of them actually go to the moon? Because all that extra money that you had early on for those coins that didn't go anywhere would have gotten you exponentially higher returns if you had invested them into the right products with product market fit, with the best communities and the best upward price potential. So it's about picking the winners, and you can do that if you have information on your side. So just be careful. Diversification, it's a tricky term, right? Because yes, it's okay. You don't have to be all in on one single coin, but be careful that you're not falling for too much stuff, because if you're going to get pitched a new coin every single day. And if you don't have a method to think critically or some kind of a checklist of, is it decentralized? Is the founder anonymous, or does he show his face? You know, like just certain checkpoints that make you personally, it can be different for everyone. But if your bullet points all hit for a particular coin, then you could say, okay, I'll invest in it. But cryptocurrency is a tough place because it's like everybody gets to be a venture capitalist right now. But venture capitalists invest in hundreds of different projects, right? And venture capitalists have millions of dollars in their budget. Diversification only makes more sense once you become a multimillionaire, okay? Because then you have to diversify, because then it's way too risky to have all of your money in one basket, right? But when you're just starting out, and I'm assuming a lot of you guys aren't multimillionaires yet, right? Like if you've only got a couple $1,000s, you want to be very careful where you place that couple $1,000s. You don't just want to buy into every new thing that comes your way, because guys, it's coming. Even in the bear market, it's coming. So these new projects are going to be pitched to you all day long, and you need to think like kind of like a VC, right? Just really scrutinize the projects and realize that you only have a limited bag. So putting $100 into 100 projects is not going to return you as much as putting $1,000 into 10 really, really high quality projects, right? Just, yeah, I don't know. That's a weird word, diversify. In a sense, diversification is a myth when you're just starting out, because a lot of the people that tell you to diversify, they're already rich. And diversification is a strategy that makes more and more sense the wealthier you become. We've got a story here from Hexacat. I over-diversified after the stock market dumped from COVID. It's okay though, but if I just bought Bitcoin or Hex, it would have been much better. Exactly, yeah. I mean, yeah, you can buy the dip on everything, but not everything is going to pump as hard as certain things, you know, wink, wink, Hex, but other things too, guys, other things too. I know I look like a Hex maxi. Hey guys, check out my new Hex merch. I got this awesome bomber jacket. Got this new, got this really cool tank top. I've even got Hex shorts on. Check these out. Look at this stuff. Shout out hexmerch.com. Hexmerch.com made some really dope Hex merchandise, because I was looking around and I realized, holy crap, I don't have any Hex clothes. So if you want some Hex clothing, hexmerch.com, boys and girls. Hexmerch.com. Hedron already did a 17X, did it not? Probably. I mean, I like Hedron a lot, and I think Hedron might continue to run up until November 13th. Let's not forget, November 13th is that big liquidation day, so Hedron's pretty cool. Ooh, freshly dipped, freshly dripped. I think you meant freshly dripped. But yeah, I'm not dipped, but I am dripped. Love the bomber. Thank you. All right. Are the fees paid in PulseX? Are the fees paid in PulseX or PLS? I don't know. What fees are you talking about? Corey needs that tank top. Oh, Corey would love this tank top. Corey's a big tank top guy, so I recommend this one to Corey. The hexification of coffee. Yeah, it only took me 3 years to get myself some reasonable Hex merch. Yeah, thank you. I love the tank too. So guys, I've got a cool announcement that You can take it or leave it. But if you are a fan of the channel and you do want to support the channel, I've got this new thing where, check it out, guys. Check it out. Let me share my screen. So, share screen. Okay. Oops. God damn it. All right. This is a new thing here. So, Chrome tab. Here we go. Here we go. So guys, I'm launching this Patreon for myself. This is the Crypto Coffee Patreon, and it's pretty cool because it's really packed with value, and I want you guys to read through all the value that you could get by subscribing to this. I'm trying this new thing out because I get questions all day long from people, and I can't possibly answer all of them, but I do want to give back, and I really want to do one-on-one personalized questions and answers. So I just wanted to let you guys know about this pretty cool thing. You can check out my Patreon. Link is in the description below. I've got an intro video here announcing that I'm giving away exclusive bonuses for fans of my channel. The whole goal of this is to, number one, incentivize onboarding. Number two is to help you personally achieve financial freedom because I'll answer your questions one-on-one personally. And then finally, I want this community, it's kind of a community chat room, right? To be a think tank and to help build the ecosystem together. Okay, so there's two membership tiers. You can either be a squid or a dolphin. The squid role, you're gonna get a YouTube shout out, 60% off the passive income course, which like I talked about earlier, it's a win-win-win, win for me, win for you, and we onboard somebody else. You become a squid role in the community chat room. You get exclusive voting power because you get to vote to help inspire my next topics, right? You get to actually help vote what kind of topics I make. So if you've got a new creative idea, you want me to get out there and let's say you want me to pay for people, I don't know, paying for people's groceries. I already did that one, but I need new ideas and I want you guys to help drive and direct the future of this channel. And then finally, exclusive content. So once a month, I'm going to be posting an exclusive podcast sharing, ideas about speculation or strategy or the state of the market in general, or just any random life advice that I feel like talking about. And finally, if you want to be one step farther, $20 a month will get you dolphin status. So if you're a dolphin, you get everything that the squid's got, but you get the dolphin role in the community chat room. So on Discord, there's a community chat room. We can all, bounce ideas off of each other. It's meant to be free-flowing, kind of a hive mind for the future of the ecosystem that we're going to help build together. But dolphins will have access to an additional chat room. So there's a text chat and a voice chat that are just free, open. Whoever wants to talk can talk. But there's a one-on-one questions room that you're going to get if you're a dolphin. And if you want to ask me any personalized questions and answers, I know a lot of you guys are pretty advanced at crypto, so the course itself might be a little too basic for you. But if you have some higher level strategic questions, obviously keep them concise and directly to the point. But I will do my best to answer these questions once per day in a one-on-one fashion. And this is going to be a publicly viewable, separate private chat room. But because, the squids are going to be able to view all of our conversations because they might learn something too. But the dolphins, you're going to get one-on-one ability to just ask me anything. And I'll try to respond. I'll do my best to respond once a day, typically in the evenings in Central Time. And we're just going to have an ongoing thread of whatever you guys might want to ask me. So link in the description below, guys. If you want to join, become a squid or a dolphin, you can help me create the future of the HEX ecosystem and obviously the future of this channel in general, guys. So shameless self-promotion there. But if you've ever wanted to ask me something, again, I get people probably 10 to 50 messages all day long. And a lot of times people ask me a question and then they just kind of figure it out and they say, oh, never mind. So I kind of want to filter those people out from the people that are actually serious about, really asking me questions. So I'll give you as much personalized attention as I have time for. Again, 2 roles, squid, dolphin, private community chat room, vote on my next content, once a month podcast, all these bonus little goodies for you to get more informed about cryptocurrency, coupon for the course, and obviously a YouTube shout out for my patrons. So check out the Patreon down below if you want to join it. That sounds good to you. Or if you just want to support the channel, obviously you can always do that. I love the super stickers. I'm still going to be reading tipped questions in the chat, but this is just one more way to interact with me and the rest of the community in that private Discord. And we're just going to have ourselves a nice little family over there and really just bounce ideas off of each other. So join and we'll see how this goes. You'll be one of the first early members if you join now because I'm just launching it today. So you're going to have a part if you join right now today just to kind of help me craft the future of what this channel looks like and even what the benefits are. So I tried to make it as value packed as I could for a very small fee. And hopefully, you're okay with that and you're going to get some value out of it. The goal is to onboard, give back value, and just make the whole community better and kind of hive mind it, kind of basically to take the direction in whatever everybody wants as a collective. What's up, Spike? No lions. Sorry, Hexacat, no lions. Hex market cap would need to be what to see a $5 hex? So it doesn't matter necessarily about what the market cap would need to be. I think you are precluding, you're making the false presumption that market cap drives the price, which is just not true, But with a $5 hex, $5 times 500, what are there, 500 billion coins? Let's see. This will be fun. If hex hits $5, the market cap would be 202. How many zeros is that? $25 trillion would be a $5 hex. And that's if they count the origin address coins. A lot of the powers that be, the coin geckos, the coin market caps, they don't count the origin address coins, or they just divide everything by 2, like Nomics just arbitrarily takes coins out of circulating supply, because in their paradigm, they don't want anything to be higher than Bitcoin, right? But market cap, as we know, is a bad way to rank things because anybody can print as many coins as they want. The metric that matters most to you is not market cap, but how many of those coins are actually for sale on the open market. So as a percentage of actual liquid coins that you can buy right now, it's only a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction, less than 1% of all of Hex is actually available for sale on the market. Okay, the rest of it is just dormant liquid. Most of it's locked up in stakers and the origin address, which is great because that money, those coins don't move. So, but to answer this question, it's kind of a funny question. Yeah, if Hex hit $5, the technical real market cap would be $25 trillion. But coin market cap and CoinGecko, they're never going to tell you that. They're never going to tell you that because it wouldn't fit in with the, their little existing framework. They want Bitcoin to be number 1 and Ethereum to be number 2. And of course, they count Satoshi's million coins that have never moved, but they want to manually gatekeep and exclude the coins from Hex. And so if everybody was properly portraying the real market cap of Hex, people would realize, I think very quickly, just how silly market cap is as a metric. But because we need a way to rank these things, nobody's really thought of a better ranking metric than market cap yet. And so in order to keep the big guys at the top and keep everything in order, if the Hex real market cap was accurately portrayed, I think it would break crypto. People would just freak out and be like, how can Hex possibly be that high? But people don't really realize that, it doesn't actually matter. Richard Hart says the lower market cap, the better. Well, I don't know if he is. I don't actually think Richard Hart said that, but if he did, what he would mean is basically the lower the market cap means the more perceived room to grow in the eyes of the everyday Joe Schmo. So you guys watching, you guys know that market cap doesn't matter. Most people think market cap matters a lot. And so it's almost good that we have gatekeeping because like in Nomics, for example, Hex climbed up. It got to the number 3 spot. And then the guys at Nomics, Clay Collins and the other guy, were just like, oh, Hex is getting a little too high. We better start to pretend like we care about the origin address or pretend like we just discovered that there's an origin address. So now we need to manually cut all these coins out of the circulating supply. So they cut them out and Hex dropped back down to number 50. But that's actually a good thing, right? Because now in people's mental framework, in their mental model, Hex has all this room to grow from 50 back all the way up slowly, all the way back up to number 3. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. When something is on a lower rank, but not that low of a rank, it's still a player, right? It's still in the game. But because it hasn't technically reached the top of the charts, it hasn't won yet, it can be looked at by people as a solid choice, a solid bet with a lot of room to grow, right? Because people make up this imaginary ceiling in their head that, oh, well, nothing can ever pass Bitcoin's market cap, even though Hex could technically do that overnight if you count all of the Hex coins in existence. But because people don't count a lot of those coins because they're owned by the origin address, well, We just now have more perceived value, and it just sits better with people that don't know much about market cap or much about crypto in general. Coin Paprika has HEX ranked correctly. I don't actually think it does. I think, Adam, I think they still divided it by 2. Coin Paprika, because if you want to really know the market cap of HEX, you can go to Etherscan. Let's look at Etherscan right now. Etherscan has the market cap at $22 billion, okay? So Coin Paprika, let's see, has the market cap at 11 billion. Yeah, so they have the market cap at, literally Coin Paprika is one of those websites that just did let's divide everything by 2. So it's not actually true. If you want to see the on-chain data, the irrefutable blockchain data that cannot be faked because a blockchain is an immutable database, you go to Etherscan. You go to Etherscan, you look up HEX, and you see, oh, look, the fully diluted market cap is 22,800,000,000. And every other coin ranking site just kind of arbitrarily does whatever they want so that HEX kind of has a rank that's lower than Bitcoin. And if HEX was properly ranked today, HEX would be in the number 6th spot. It would be right behind XRP, or right in front of XRP maybe. So, but we just can't have that, can we? You know what I mean? HEX is making a wave. I agree. Can you feel it, Chris? I can feel it in the air. I feel it in my bones. HEX market cap at 50. What was HEX market cap at 50 cents? Well, I mean, we could just do the current market cap times 25. So 22 billion times 25, because it's 4 cents now. So what's 25 times 22 billion? 1, 2, 3. I got to count all these zeros. 550 billion to 3. Yeah. At 50 cents, the market cap was 550 billion. But guys, I mean, it doesn't matter. We're talking about like a metric that really doesn't matter, because for the price to pump, all that matters is people buying and selling at the end of the day. Yes, that's really all that matters. But people are going to buy and sell based on certain things. And so some silly people might look at the market cap and make their decision that way. You shouldn't never really just look at the market cap of something and make your decision on buying or selling based on that alone. So once you realize that the market cap per trade on HEX on things like Nomics and Coin Paprika, they're not actually accurate, well, it doesn't really matter, because all that matters is new demand, new people coming in, staking, removing supply, and there's only a limited circulating, like liquid supply, I should say. The liquid supply is very, very low because everyone's staked, or the origin address coins, let's call those dormant. And so that means the price can skyrocket. We've only got $10 million of liquidity on a transparent on-chain trading on Uniswap, the premier DEX on Ethereum. So, with $5 million injected today, only $5 million, you could basically like double the price. I mean, there's even a calculator that does that. 600 billion times 50 cents. Yeah, my math might be wrong. I don't know. I just did some quick calculations there. Coin ranking sites will come up with new rules, but hey, we will have room to grow forever. That's right, John Bishop. It also doesn't matter, LOL. Yeah, guys, I'm doing math on the fly here. I got a calculator up, so there's a chance, I didn't get it quite right. But Nomics subtracts all origin address coins. Yeah, guys, let's move on. Let's find a new topic. I've already told you about market cap, but if we have any other topics right here, let me know, because I'm happy to answer any and all questions that you might have. Let's see, Large and in charge. What's up, Large and in charge? Monica, hello. A-Bit, what's going on? I'm excited for our stream later. Guys, check me out. I'm having a stream with Alan, A-Bit HEX later on. Timothy Harris joined your Patreon as a dolphin. Thank you, Timothy. Appreciate it, man. I'm happy to talk with you over there. You might be the very first member, Timothy Harris. Hell yeah. Let's see. SEC investigating RH thoughts. Guys, we need to stop it with the SEC FUD, okay? The SEC has investigated HEX many, many times. There's only so much they can do. The SEC doesn't put people in jail. I think people fear what they don't understand, okay? The SEC just question people, and if these people are doing the right thing. I mean, Hex is not a security, right? Richard Hart's not the CEO of a company or anything. I mean, look, people are suing Ripple right now for being an SEC, for being a security. Ripple is an official company with 100 employees and a building and a CEO and a CFO, and they're getting sued, and they might win the case that they're not a security, right? In America, unfortunately, everybody is, lawsuit trigger happy, and everyone sues everyone all day long, and most of them amount to nothing, guys. So really don't worry when you hear about lawsuit or whatever. Like, it's not that scary because all these lawsuits have no merit, and they're primarily filed by people that don't even have the money to pay for the lawyers to continue the litigation anyway, because these things take a lot of time and they cost a lot of money. And they mostly just come from sad, insecure, or self-victimizing individuals that have poor mental health issues, okay? So don't let that worry you. Because speaking from experience, guys, when Hex first started, yeah, there were people that tried to sue Hex, or they tried to investigate. The SEC has investigated Hex before, and it's found nothing at all. So I know it might be a little scary to hear that the first time, but guys, trust me. These lawsuits and things aren't as big of a deal as you're making them. And be careful with the FUD, right, guys? Be careful with the FUD, because when you give this negativity more attention, you just fuel the fire, right? This is stuff that literally doesn't matter. It's happened before. Lawsuits come and go because they have no legs to stand on. And they're just a scary meme because everyone's scared of getting arrested or whatever, not even knowing that the SEC doesn't even really do that. All they do, if the SEC is investigating somebody, that means they're probably asking them a question or something. And we've had legal opinion letters for Hex written to the SEC before that explaining how it's not a security. People have been trying to sue Richard for years and failing just because they can't. They have nothing to stand on. He lives in a different country anyway. And also, nobody has the money or time to even care about chasing this dead-end road. So you guys need to realize that 99% of FUD literally amounts to nothing, and people are going to forget about it in a week, okay? We're not going to be even talking about this in one more week because people are going to forget about it. The only reason that these things keep coming up is because, no offense, but you guys keep giving it more attention. So be really, really careful, and don't be scared of things that you don't understand. Just try to understand them better. When you have a better understanding of the legal system and how the SEC actually operates, you'll realize that there's nothing to be scared of, and the SEC doesn't arrest people, and the legal system is abused all the time by miserable, self-victimizing people. These things have no merit. People don't care enough to continue them. They don't have enough money to continue them. And every time you give some fudster on the internet more attention, you're just feeding into exactly what they want. So filter out your Twitter, mute everybody that doesn't serve your purpose. And really, your mental health is incredibly crucial. And I'm speaking from experience, right? Because I go down rabbit holes on Twitter all the time. And sometimes I find that after I get off Twitter, after I've read a bunch of, nobodies and their negative opinions about Hex or whatever, I end up feeling just angry and upset. And what did I do? I just spun my wheels and I didn't achieve anything. I just wasted an hour on my little magic rectangle here. I went over to the Twitter, the sadness machine, and I went over to the sadness generator and I got sad. So it's like, what did you actually accomplish here? You just read some nobody's opinions, some miserable people that want to project their own misery onto you, and it worked. You know what I mean? So just try to have a healthy relationship with that, and don't fall for the FUD, guys. Hex is immutable code. It lives on its own. Richard has nothing to do with it, okay? Richard's basically just like the #1 cheerleader for Hex. He's just the #1 fan, okay? No connection at all. Humans love drama, they do. But look, man, you also are what you focus on, right? So if you focus on only the drama all day long, you're going to think that that's reality. But really, in the grand scheme of things, this is a tiny little blip on the radar. Nobody cares. The guys at the SEC aren't getting paid enough to go after whoever they're going after today. It's going to be Richard one day, it's Vitalik the next day. Like, people sue everybody all day long, okay? I mean, it's kind of sad, really, because people are wasting their time, right? But this is kind of true. Everybody does love a comeback story. And so, yeah, there are haters on Hex, but we're going to prevail no matter what because we have the truth on our side, guys. It's easier to win when you have the truth on your side. Twitter does not represent real human beings. Very, very true, fathead. Just keep in mind that Twitter is not reality. People's opinions on Twitter often know nothing about the subjects they're talking about. And just try to filter your information. I've said this before, but the great skill of the next decade in the 21st century is going to be information filtration. Okay? Using the block button, using the mute button, not giving into cyberbullying, not spewing venom. You get more flies with honey than vinegar. Okay? You get way more flies with honey than vinegar. Okay? Your message is not going to get out there if all you're doing is hating people and engaging in hate, because again, that's exactly what they want. Okay? A friendly debate, that's fun. Okay? Everybody likes to see Richard Hart crush haters because they step to him. Richard Hart doesn't go out attacking people. He defends himself. He defends his own ideas and his own beliefs. He doesn't go out looking to call things like scams or pointing fingers or going after people. You don't see Richard out here filing lawsuits against everything that he thinks is a shitty project, because there's so much shitty stuff out there. And I'm sure he could, right? He could countersue these people for defamation of character or for libel or for slander. But it's just not worth the time. He knows it. He's rich as hell. He could easily go after anybody for, a countersuit off of some actual case like, libel, slander, defamation. But all this worrying about legalities, about suing him or her because they were mean to me on the internet. It's like, at some point we need to grow up and pick a better path and just pick a better route to focus on, right? Spreading messages of love, positivity, unison, that the real enemy is the Fed, not each different crypto team that we're on. And yeah, if somebody steps to you with some hate, you can defend yourself, back yourself up. And that's how we're the underdog, is because we stand on our own 2 feet. We don't take hate from everybody. We actually have facts and logic to back ourselves up. But we don't want to go out into the world just worrying or, spewing hate on other people, okay? I mean, that's not the path we should be going forward with. So reality transurf to a better lifeline. Cool, man. Sweet like honey, friendship and fixing stuff. Sure, man. I couldn't agree more. Can I get coffee with my crypto? No, you can't. Especially not with the Lightning Network, LOL. Did you hear they just had a critical vulnerability? Crypto as a payment method is very, very far away. Crypto as a store of value is what's happening right now. It's crypto as a store of value. Hex wants to massage and lick you by the dip. Yeah, Hex wants to make you feel real good, boys and girls. I love to FUD BTC and pump Hex. I mean, sure, dude, that's fine. I mean, it's fun to say stuff like Bitcoin doesn't have the potential that Hex does, because it literally doesn't. It's a heavier object. It's harder to move. But that's just the truth, right? I'm not calling every Bitcoiner like a total idiot, or just slander word, total asshole. I could think of worse words, but I don't want to get banned off of YouTube. There's one thing to just speak the facts and the comparisons, right? And that could be looked at as FUD, but I kind of hate that word too, because FUD has come to mean anything that the other person doesn't like because it doesn't pump their bags, like anything critical, right? What FUD really is, like, to me, FUD is like, oh, there's a lawsuit that somebody lost $2,000 and so they're crying like a baby and calling the daddy SEC to come help them. Like, that's FUD, because that doesn't even matter. That's just somebody crying like a little baby. But FUD, to say that, Bitcoin is too old, you're not going to make life-changing wealth anymore, I don't think that's FUD, because I think that's pretty accurate when you really consider how much liquidity there is on Bitcoin versus something smaller like Hex, how old Bitcoin is, how much of a household name it is. A lot of the opportunity is gone because everyone's already heard about it. And at the very best, I think in the next cycle, Bitcoin maybe goes to $200,000, let's say. Great, you made a 10x. How many coins, not even Hex, but how many other coins out there are going to do way more than a 10x in the next cycle? You could almost pick anything and be a pretty safe bet that it's going to outperform Bitcoin. You know what I mean? So that's not FUD, okay? That's not FUD. Crypto Unbank has a great point. In 12 months, all this BS will be forgotten. Yeah, again, guys, I don't even really know what's going on in terms of the FUD right now, and I'm not going to address it anymore because it stops here. It just stops. Like, I'm not going to be the one projecting more FUD of stuff that doesn't matter that we're all going to forget about. So you can bring that here if you want to, but like, it doesn't really get much farther than that. LOL 2K sounds like a noob. Mr. Crypto Coffee, yes, you mentioned something about Hedron November 13th. What's that about? Okay, this is the last point that I'll make, and then I'll wrap it up for the day. How do I put this? On November 13th, there's going to be a lot of liquidated HSI stakes. So in the beginning of Hedron, when Hedron launched the ICOSA smart contract, the way that a lot of people got ICOSA was by wrapping an HSI stake and sending it into the smart contract and getting ICOSA in return. Now, when you send these HSIs into the contract, the ICOSA smart contract, to get ICOSA coin, the HSIs become liquidated. But there's a 90-day window. And so at 90 days after you send your HSI in, and HSI, by the way, is a wrapped HEX stake. It's a tradable HEX stake that you wrap using the Hedron protocol. After 90 days, these wrapped stakes become liquid on the liquidation market on the Hedron website. And so it's a battle then for people. It's a bidding war, and people can spend their Hedron is then burned, but they can spend their Hedron to buy these wrapped stakes and to buy them back at what might be a lower market price than they otherwise would be able to pay for it if they paid for it on the open market, right? So people are speculating right now. I think a lot of people might end up overpaying for some of these HSIs, but people are going to be rushing to buy up the Hedron. Okay, the theory is that people will be rushing to buy up Hedron right before the liquidation day because everybody wants to spend that Hedron to buy liquidated HSI stakes. But I don't think the HSI stakes themselves are that interesting. I think what's really interesting are the HSI stakes that still have a 10x multiplier on it. There's about 250 of those that have a 10x Hedron bonus mint multiplier. So some of these HSI stakes are also Hedron cash cow money printing machines. And so there's going to be a race of people entering a bidding war to buy up all these HSI stakes. And most of these HSI stakes are 15 years long. And quite frankly, I'm not really interested in buying a lot of those 15-year stakes, but I am interested in hopefully being able to buy some of the ones with 10x Hedron multipliers on them. And the way to do that is, I think, pooling together. And what the guys at Maximus DAO are doing is they're using the Poly smart contract to pool a bunch of Hedron together to make sure that they win in those liquidation auctions. When I talk about this kind of stuff, I literally feel like I'm talking a different language, right? Because if you're newer here, this probably doesn't make sense to you at all. And for the most part, if it's too complicated, you can ignore it, guys. It's not gonna like ruin your life if you don't participate, but I will be making a video on this maybe in the next couple of days because you should know about what the liquidation day is. And if you decide to get involved, if you make that decision that you want to enter the liquidation auctions, you've got a couple of different options available to you. You could pool your Hedron together in the Poly smart contract to make your chances of getting those good ones higher. Or you could buy the rumor, sell the news. I think a lot of people are going to buy the rumor, sell the news. So we're going to maybe see a pump and then a dump of Hedron to a degree. But let's not also forget that all the Hedron used to buy these HSIs is going to be burned. So the burned Hedron might actually offset the dump from all the people looking at it as a buy the rumor, sell the news. So a lot of people are going to sell the news, but to counter that, a lot of Hedron is going to be taken off the table and the supply is going to go down drastically. So will that be enough to level the price out a little bit? Time will tell. It's going to be a very interesting day for me, but I'm the kind of guy that likes all that complexity, right? I like all that nerdy stuff. And if what I just said sounds like Latin to you, don't worry about it, guys. Don't worry about it. But that's stuff we can also talk about in the private Discord chat room. So again, Patreon link below. Sign up for all kinds of exclusive content, exclusive bonuses, and just the ability to ask me one-on-one personal questions, along with many other benefits that you'll find below. But all right, guys, that's all for today. About an hour, 9 minutes. Thank you all for coming. Hope you enjoyed BitBoy's stream with Corey Costa. And God bless you. Good explanation. Hedron rocks. All right, guys, I'm out for today. See you later.